plug for the podcast. This is why I want to have real, authentic conversations with interesting people, because I think that this is how you learn. Yeah. This right here, more people need to do this to actually learn. If the average college student, instead of seeing one tweet that was like, oh, Israel sucks, they're killing innocent people, pro-Palestine, and they actually haven't taken the time to learn. Now, if there's someone that's taken the time and they still have this, okay, great, at least you've taken the time. We might still disagree with your indecision, but at least you take the time to think through what you actually believe. And I just don't think we do that very much in our in America. Yeah. We're so quick to like plant our flag in the sand, and you're like, you've done 30 seconds of research. Why are you so adamant about this?
Yes, yeah. Thinking for yourself is a not as popular as maybe as it once was. But
what do you think that is?
Who knows? Yeah, man. There's probably lots of reasons. Our education system is in horrendous shape. We don't teach like we used to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole the classic education.
Well, we can teach you how to be gay.
Sort of like, yeah, celebrate you. Yeah.
Seems like the big curriculum.
That's what's
anymore.
important in a lot of elementary schools, is figuring that out for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, not how to do math, but yeah, we used to be able to, in the classical education system, which was even a piece of the public school, was right. Like you had these different stages of learning, and the early stages, elementary, was just like, here's what is true.
Yeah.
And
these are facts.
Like this is the alphabet. This is how addition works.
Yes.
And these are non-negotiables.
Yes.
We don't need to understand why yet. You just need to be able to understand what actually is real.
You need to know that 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah. We'll get to how later, but this is what it equals.
And then you begin to introduce the world of ideas, and then be able to, that rhetoric stage, the didactic and rhetoric stages, where you can now debate ideas, or you can challenge what you'd been taught effectively, right? We just don't teach that anymore. We don't have intellectual debate. And I say, like, you know, I'm using hyperbolic language. We don't have. It's not like it doesn't exist anywhere. But, I mean, for the most part, your typical public high school education doesn't offer critical thinking. It maybe some teachers, standout teachers, maybe like really go in on that. But as far as like the curriculum goes, philosophical understanding of concepts and ideas, and the ability to exchange ideas, even with people that you disagree with, it's
becoming
just
a lost art.
Yeah,
I mean, it's becoming
commonplace.
You got to hate fast. You know, if you disagree with someone, it's not an opportunity for you to learn. It's an opportunity to hate them, and that's a scary place for America to be. Going back to the whole conversation of why has the media portrayed cops, it's the same situation, right? I mean, so many people that were picketing, defund the police, and then it's like, have you thought about what this means? Think through this. I understand that you might have in your heart, you believe social justice reasons that you believe something, and I think that the average person in their heart is actually believing they're correct, and there's believing, you know, so that's fine. I get that. But have you actually thought through what this means? If you defund the police, I mean, look at Seattle and look at some of these, okay, great. You don't want police force. All right. Well, enjoy a burning city. Have you, and people haven't thought through those things. And I wonder what has happened to where people just have stopped using logic and common sense. It just seems like that just doesn't exist right now. And I can't figure out why. I just can't figure out what has I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's just people are brain dead because they're scrolling shorts all day. I just don't know why people can't at least think through things.
I think part of it, and this is sort of like, it's in part it's critical of us right here in this moment. C.S. Lewis talks about, I think it's C.S. Lewis, chronological snobbery.
Okay.
This idea that we think like we can be better than the past, and it's like, then you go back to Solomon, who says like there's nothing new under the sun, right? Like people have been people forever, and we have different versions of the same sins, the same problems, the same challenges. It just is different in our time, for different reasons. Right now, attention spans are a problem, right? So doing difficult things. Here's the reality is that for a long time, it's always been true that the most rewarding things in life come from the greatest level of challenge and fight to get there,
Sure.
right? I think.
Yeah. The greatest payoff. Right.
Yeah. With great sacrifice comes great reward. Like as it is a general principle, right?
Yeah.
And I think that our culture affords us so much comfort that less of us we have to be even more intentional as the opportunity for comfort arises. Our intentionality to outpace comfort has to go up even more. And I just don't think it's an easy thing to do. If it's the 1700s in an agricultural society, you don't sacrifice, you don't eat.
You die.
Right. So like there was more immediacy at stake that was like, there is no choice.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. If I don't work, I literally do not eat.
Yeah.
And now you can literally not work and have a phone, internet, food, clothes, education, right? Like just tick the boxes. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, that's fact, right? Like you can live in this country.
I think it just
and
goes
do
back
that.
to power, though, right? Like it just goes back to because then at that point you're relying on the government to take care of you, and that's what they want.
That goes back to
our
exactly
previous
that idea
conversation.
is like if
Yeah.
I can push out the system if I can make the system the boogeyman, if we just got rid of the system and you choose us, we won't ever let that happen to you again, right? Like then it will be better. And I think it goes to that too. And people who are addicted to comfort are like, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a lot of us, I mean, I think it's more complex than this, but think about the tax rate when we started throwing tea in the harbor.
Right.
What? And look at what we pay now. And it's like a lot of people, as long as you don't cancel their Netflix, and as long as their specialty milk is in stock at the coffee shop to get their drink every day before work, they just want to be relatively left alone with these other things, So, and if being relatively left alone means you're head down, you're working, you're a responsible person, then it's cool. Like not everybody wants to talk about all these other issues. They're like, I just want to focus on me, my family, my thing, and that's fine, right? But when that's to the exclusion of building a society, like society doesn't like maintain itself. You have to have people that are putting in intentional effort into it, or run amok.
Yeah. Or then you have people that are putting intentional effort into it, and it's not good intentional effort.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I think is happening across a lot of
bit of a
societies today.
sabotage.
Yeah.